Yeah, nighttime I see diamonds in the sky. Daytime I see sunlight shining bright. If I'm alive, how can I not testify of your love, your love, your love? Yeah, your love, your love, your love. Yeah.
Welcome to Truth Prevails. Today's video is gonna feature how the Jehovah Witnesses call themselves a false religion and their reaction. So I'm gonna play the short video and then we're gonna see their reaction to it.
With so much bad news going on, who wants to hear some good news from God? I know I do. What is the good news about religion? Well, let's look in the brochure on page 26, lesson 13, to see what is the good news about religion. Number 1, is all religion good? There are sincere people in all religions. It is good news that God sees those people and cares about them. But sadly, religion has been used for evil ends. According to news reports, some religions are even involved in terrorism, genocide, war, and child abuse. How this saddens sincere believers in God. Whereas true religion glorifies God, false religion displeases him. How? It teaches ideas that are not in the Bible. Not in the Bible. Is that right? Because I'm sure that Toni Morris has a scriptural reference for saying that you have to go to Bethel before going to Disneyland. Or that you have to have a religious title before you can get married. Or maybe the brothers in the congregation can tell us where in the Bible it says that you have to knock on doors for a minimum of 10 hours a month or God's going to kill you. Surely they can, because if they couldn't, then that would mean that they're a false religion.
Exactly. And we're not even going to forget that they have a $4,000 sanction that's being put on them every single day until they release their child abuse records. But here's a reaction from the Jehovah Witnesses. Leave a comment and tell me what you think. I was reading through the pamphlet you gave me, and one thing I was talking to my mom about, in 13, we was talking about religion, and kind of how you can tell a true religion between a false religion. And then it says, whereas true religion
glorifies God,
false religion displeases him. Teaches ideas that are not in the Bible. And that was my key concern right there, because I was talking to my mom and I had talked to an elder, and the question I couldn't get asked was like, the society says if I join the society, I'm gonna have to I'm required to do 10 hours of field service a month, and I gotta submit my forms. So it was like, where it's like that, and then there's
that's not
birthdays
that's
can't.
Not a requirement.
My mom even tells me she has an app that she has to submit. She puts the hours into the app.
Well, yeah,
and then
that's her personal choice. There's no hour requirement.
Yeah.
If God wants us to give our all, every person's different. You know, like if we were giving a contribution to someone, not all of us make the same amount of money.
Yeah.
So all contributions will be different, but it still means something to God. So the same thing with teaching people.
Yeah.
We want to do all we can. We want to give as much as we can, but as much as we can is different. Some people can't do
that.
An hour. Some people can do 15 minutes. But does that make that person any less than the person that does 10, 20, 30?
That would be my concern. Because, like, are you guys pioneers? No. So, like, pioneers are required to do more hours.
But they chose that. That's a chosen thing.
Yeah.
So that's not something obligated. I mean, it's obligated once you choose to be a pioneer, but they don't have to do it. No one has to be a pioneer. That's something they, in their heart, they decide they want to do.
Yeah.
And then they have specific hours they have to do. But that's not for everybody.
Yeah. See, I was like, where's that in the Bible? To follow
that those numbers aren't in the Bible. That's just something that the organization has kind of put numbers on to kind of decide what separate.
If you want to do that.
Yeah, and see that in like the kind of example that you said, because say if I wanted to be a pioneer, they're gonna look at my hours. So like the hours are important, and say if I'm doing my 10 hours a week, my month. And say if I'm only doing 8 and you're doing 10, if we're both going up, you will probably get it because you're doing your 10. But I might be having kids, I might have to do more stuff, so it doesn't like spiritually. You might just be going out and getting hours, and not really. Maybe your heart's not in it. Not to say, but your heart may not be in it. And my heart's really in. I'm studying the word. I'm doing my hours, but I can't do enough hours as you. But they're gonna look at that, and you would get it. Because you have the 10 hour. Oh, he would get the pioneer position, because
it's not like that.
And the thing is, none of us can know what each other has in their heart.
Yeah.
So you can't worry about other people. You got to worry about what you are.
Exactly.
So if you're giving your all to Jehovah, that's all that matters. Because if that person isn't, it will come out down the road, right?
Yeah.
No doubt. Most things. They come to head and down in a period of time, right?
They do, yeah.
So you can't worry about what everybody else is doing. If you can only get 5 hours in, then you've given Jehovah your best. Like what was the example about the widow giving her money? She was giving her money, right? So the rich people were giving tons of their money, right? But this poor widow only had a couple little pieces of coins that she put in. Did Jehovah think less of her?
But
no.
That was actually
Jehovah thought more of her. And Jesus did too, because she gave her all.
You know what that is? Because
that's what he was looking up right now.
Yeah, look that up, because that was actually talking about false prophets. We could read that. That's actually talking about false prophets, because Jesus doesn't.
Well, no,
really...
this one's talking. Well,
no,
this is a different one.
Yeah, I think it's in.
But I mean, that's what. See, the thing is, you can get caught up on a lot of things. You can get caught up in hours. You can get up that, but. If you're thinking about all that stuff, then you're occupying your mind with stuff that you could be using otherwise, right? Because when I first I grew up in the truth, right? Yeah. So there's been years where I've only given less hours. Then as I get older, I make more. But no one gets any different looked at because they get less hours. Because whatever you give God is what you can give Him.
So how would you feel about when they're saying, okay, you're a pioneer now, you have to do this amount of hours?
But see, I don't look at them like that. I don't see. The thing is that now you're making it about other people. You know what I'm saying? We're all individuals. Yeah. So I'm not looking. If they're a pioneer and they're putting their hours in, that's great. I'm so happy.
I would say just the titles in general. Like if they're not in the Bible, is that teaching something that's not in the Bible? Teaching something that's not in the Bible, right?
But they're not really. It's not really teaching. We're not. That's not teaching.
Yeah, because
Well, then the teacher saying, okay, you can be this title. You can be this title. That's kind of teaching. Like you can be this title. You got to do this many hours. You can be that title.
But that's a choice. So they put a name on it. So it's not less of a person because I put 10 hours. I'm less than a pioneer. My wife's a pioneer. So it doesn't make me less than her. But that's just something you've committed to God. I'm going to put this many hours in. Okay, pioneers have to get this many hours, and that's what I'm going to do. So you're making a pledge to God that you're going to put that many hours in.
So is that known that the hour requirement is not coming from the organization, but actually coming from God? Is it coming from God?
God never put numbers. It's not a number God put.
It's not.
No, there's no numbers. There's nowhere it says how many hours we have to be out in service.
No, it's not absolutely positively.
There's no hours.
Because in the Bible.
So why do you think it's needed? Because I had someone try to give me a verse.
It's needed to have hour requirements. There's no hour requirement.
Oh, well, I'm saying, why should you be required to submit your time?
That's just record keeping.
Okay, they just I forget what the hours were. They just told us how many hours last year was. That's encouraging to know that worldwide is being done that much, right? So if we didn't know that information, if they weren't keeping records, we wouldn't know, right? We wouldn't know how much new people are coming to the memorial, or how many people are coming to the meetings. Those are just encouraging records, and that's how they keep track of what's going on, how they're growing, right? So if they didn't keep records, just like all of us, like if you didn't keep your bank records, how would you know where your money's going? How would you know where things were going? That's just the way to keep an idea what's going on.
Keep it organized. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah, but that would then they say, okay, why do I have to put my name on it? I shouldn't. If they're just keeping records, you can keep all that for my name on it, and they keep that file to say, because then it comes back up. If I wanted to be a pioneer, they're gonna look at my hours. So it's like it's not just for record. It is for record keeping, but it's more. That's like it's your publisher card. It's like that's you.
People that's
like tells you how good you're doing.
Yeah, but they don't judge you on that. I mean,
if I wanted to be an elder, they would, or a pioneer, they would.
But now you're taking on responsibilities in the hall, so you have to be an example.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So I can't stay home and never be at the meetings, and never be out in service, and expect to have a appointment of a thing. You have to be an example. So those are how it is. So there's certain, you got to have certain things. You got to be at the meetings. You got to be on service to have privileges, right? Because you're looking over the flock. So there's got to be some kind of organization. You can't just have it just free floating. You can do whatever you want, because how would you have a congregation that's going to thrive, right? So you got to look at those things as your name on there. So say you never went out in service, and you were suffering. How would the brothers know? How do they know that you need encouragement? Right? No one would know.
We should be confessing our sins to each other.
It's true, but it might not even be that. But maybe just depressed.
Yeah,
maybe you're just down.
We should be talking to each other.
But the thing is, it's not always that simple. Some people don't want to talk. So the only way we would know that is what's going on. It's just to keep track of what's going on. But no one looks down upon you. If 1 month you got 1 hour, do you think they're gonna be like, oh, that guy, he's no good anymore? No, it doesn't go like that. It's just a way of keeping track of things.
So do you think it's a good, it's kind of like the standard where, do you think it's a good thing to use if I wanted to move up? Because just like I'm saying, if I had 8 hours a month and you had 10, you think that's a good, like I don't know what the right word to say, like a good, they just go by it. They're going to line up both our, you think that's a good thing to do?
They're not going to do that.
So you just heard this Jehovah's Witness say, if I was going to move up in the position, they would not look at my publisher card. I don't know if, one, he's not an elder, or he doesn't know, or he's just lying. I'll let you guys decide. But let's look at this is what the leaked elder training video says. And I already know.
Last sentence says, to appoint a brother to a position of responsibility who is not exemplary in the ministry will adversely affect the congregation's zeal for.
Look what he's grabbing at. Look what he's pulling out. The publisher cards with the hours on it. Let's see what he says.
The ministry. Gary sets a good example of the ministry. Each Saturday that we meet together as a field service group, he is out in the ministry with his family.
Fred. I have his congregation's publisher record card here, and it does indicate he has a very balanced ministry.
Joe, please. What about his family, Fred?
Wow.
They're doing well, too. His one son is a publisher now, and his wife, Jessica, started regular pioneering in September. So it really does seem like he's presiding in a fine manner over his own household.
So not only do they look at your publisher card, but they're going to look at your family's publisher card. This witness is lying right to my face. So this is part one of how Jehovah's Witnesses expose themselves and show that they are not a true religion, how they are false religion. Part two, I'm going to release soon, where we talk about another topic. I don't want to release it. That would disqualify them. So like, comment, and share, and give me your feedback and recommendations. God bless. Just want to give a special shout out and thank you to King of Faders. His page has a lot of videos that help you reach the witnesses and just show a lot of the contradictions that they have. And I suggest that you check out his page, watch some of his videos, has some great content. God bless.